Mitul makes a return to the VJ Wale show right here at the Emirates Stadium, and Arsenal's defeated Luton Town FC 2-0. Of course, let's get a reaction about this particular game.
It was a sound performance. Nothing spectacular today compared to the performances we had before the Brentford game. But it's more or less like a professional performance. We got the job done, got the 3 points, got the early goals, that kind of eased the pressure. And Arteta's made the right calls today to kind of switch the team up and rotate a little bit, because we've got a crazy run of fixtures over April and they're all at a crucial stage of the season. So he needs to rest players like Declan Rice, and the key other players that have been featuring lately for Arsenal. So it's quite important that you get to rotate the team and start the likes of Reece Nelson. Thomas Partey got a start today, which is quite good as well. Not his sharpest, but just again a professional performance.
Of course, who will you say was our outstanding player at today's game?
I like to see the likes of Smith Rowe for me really performed well today. I mean, he was quite instinctive. He was trying to break play. He was trying to get involved as much as possible. And I think he really deserves a goal now. And he hasn't scored for over the last couple of seasons now. So hopefully he can get on the score sheet. But he's been quite impressive. And in terms of lately, since the second half of this season, I have to say Ben White. He's been so good. Just a professional. No one can really get past him. He's like a no-nonsense defender now at the minute. That's what we call Benny Blanco, why? So, and Saliba and Gabriel have just been a solid rock, and I think the draw against Man City should be kind of an incentive and a motivation for us for the rest of this season, because that's the kind of games where we struggled over recent years, where we conceded so many goals, like 4-1 last season, 5-0 in recent seasons, and we've struggled to get points over there. And it shows a good message to know that we've grown from last season. So definitely the pairing of Saliba and Gabriel, as well as Ben White, for me, have really performed. And like Mikel Arteta's innovative tactics and the way he takes the small details into account, and that makes a big, massive difference.
Do you think Arsenal have what it takes to win the league this time around?
Of course we can. I think we've learned a lot from last season. We've grown in maturity, like I mentioned before, and I feel they know what it takes to do it. Having the players like experience like Declan Rice, for example, where I know he's not played for a club of a size like Arsenal before, he was at West Ham, but he faced the pressure, for example, of relegation and winning a trophy, which he did with the Conference League. So he will take that kind of pressure and that experience into a bigger scale for a club like Arsenal, and ensuring that we can actually have a good finish to the season, which we will do this season, which I'm kind of convinced, I would say. And I don't think this team does fear anybody. Even going against Manchester City and taking 4 points out of 6 in the league, and same against Liverpool as well, shows a very strong message. And we're not going to go to like Tottenham's ground or going to Old Trafford. We shouldn't be fearing anybody, because we've got one of the best defences. And if we keep them fit from now to the end of the season, that's a big if still. I'm not going to try and quote them saying that we'll do it, but if we keep them fit, we've got every chance. We've got every chance. And I can see the likes of Liverpool and City slipping up a little bit. As long as we win our games, that's the big part.
Of course, next 2 games, tough games. Of course, away to Brighton. It's going to be a tough game, you agree with me. And also, we're having that particular game we all are looking forward to, talking about the game between the Bayern Munich next week. Do you see Arsenal fans saying, getting win at the end of those 2 games?
Why not? We shouldn't fear anybody. And now this has become a very crucial part to Arsenal's season, where we're getting players back from injury. The only players not back from injury is Yuri Timber, and that's a signing I was quite excited during the summer, in terms of playing that kind of inverted right back midfield position that what Zinchenko can do on the left, which Ben White has implemented really well in the second half of this season. And I know the biggest disappointment going to the Brighton game now for me, because Kai Havertz got the booking, which means he's now got a 2-match suspension, so he can't play against Brighton or Villa, and I think his physicality will be missed. But the thing I'm quite assured now that this part of the season, we're getting players back fit, is that we've got the depth in the team that they know they can make a difference when it's required. And I expect to have no excuse now. Like, we've got no injuries now apart from Yuri Timber. That we should go there with a fully fit squad, and we should get all 3 points. And going to the Bayern game as well, we've been the 12th man, been the whole stadium full of Arsenal fans, and we know Bayern fans permitted into the stadium. We stand every chance, and Bayern Munich have struggled this season in the league. They're 13 points behind Bayer Leverkusen, which is a kind of a very rare. It's a kind of very rare occasion that you see them not winning the title this year. And if Bayer Leverkusen win the next 3 games, they're mathematically champions. And Bayern Munich, okay, they've done well in some respects, but I think they are beatable. They are quite beatable this season.
Do you think Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes. Do you think they're the best defender in the world now at this point?
Without a shadow of a doubt. Without a shadow of a doubt. The understanding that they've got together and the way they reformed this Arsenal defence is significant. If you have to remember as well, at this time last year we had Saliba injured in that crucial business end of the season, which kind of derailed our title chances. That's why we kind of slipped away and missed out on 5 points. So those are the fine margins, and these kind of intricate details you see where he's close, so calm, so composed in defence. And he reminds me so much about Rio Ferdinand in terms of his defending. He's a Rio Ferdinand type of player. He's very reminiscent of the way he played football as a defender.
2-in-1 question, the last one for me. Do you see Arsenal winning any of the title this season? And if yes, what particular title? And if you're with the players at this moment, if you're given 1 minute just to speak to the players, what will be your message to them?
First question, we've got every chance. I'm not going to say we can do both or we're going to win one of them. Ideally, I'd love us to win both. I'm quite ambitious with this Arsenal team, and I know in his press conference a couple of days before this game, or maybe yesterday, if I can recall, where a journalist was asking about the phases in terms of where Arteta is looking to build this team, and we've overachieved in so many respects. Like even two years ago when we narrowly missed out on the top four, that was an overachievement because we had a very streamlined squad. Last season, we didn't have the depth when it comes to when losing some of our starting players. When we had Saliba injured, when we had Tomiyasu injured, you know the team was going to crumble a bit because of we didn't get the sufficient cover where that can meet that kind of quality. Like from Saliba, we had Rob Holding. From like Tomiyasu, okay, we had Ben White, but then after Ben White, you had Cedric. So we didn't really have much depth last season. So we've got every chance to do it, man, in terms of the depth and qualities. Like when the player gets out, you know, they can all shift in and produce a shift. So we can do both. But if we don't do both, because I think one of the factors in is because we didn't get a striker. And I think we're scoring goals for fun in the second half of the season. I think I've told many fans, and sorry to digress, that first half of this season we didn't play our best football. Second half of the season, when you come back from the Dubai break, we started to hit first gear. In these kind of games, we're acting more mature and more professional. It's not about scoring goals for fun. Just get the job done, 1-0, 2-0, get the job done. End of the day, that's done. That's what we're hitting first gear when we're seeing scoring goals against Sheffield United, West Ham, 6-0s, 2 6-0s, 5-0s against Palace. That shows you that we were trying to hit first gear really matter the most. So we're acting more streetwise, I would say. But if we don't win the league, if we don't win the Champions League, for example, it's still an overachievement, and it can just shows you what's going to come up next, because other clubs will start fearing in the summer in terms of who we're going to get, because Arteta and Edu are already planning now in terms of who they're going to be signing in the summer, who their key targets are, and they will push this to the very next level. And I think that is going to be very scary for other teams when they look at Arsenal. And in terms of the message, don't fear anybody, man. North London forever. Let's do everything. We've got absolutely everything. Show what you've got.
Come on, you guys. Show what you got. And don't fear anybody. Thank you, Mitul, for coming on the show today.
Yeah.
See you next time.
See you next time, man. I'll dish off, yeah?
Thank you.